1. Snow. It was the last thing Meg Falconer wanted to see. She was lost in the woods, in the mountains, in the dark. Every limping step brought a fresh detonation of pain from her sprained ankle. Her one possession besides the clothes on her back was the pocket nail file she had used to saw through the ropes that had bound her to a chair. Her thoughts turned to her 3 kidnappers. They were probably searching for her, 2 of them anyway, so she was lost and hunted. It was pitch dark. Was there such a thing as pitch white? All she could see was the snow, blowing and swirling around her. She had tried to bed down for the night in a hollow under a fallen tree, but a toxic mixture of pain, cold, and fear had made sleep impossible. The snow had been the last straw. She had to put as much distance as possible between herself and her captors before the white coating on the forest floor created tracks for them to follow. She looked down. Her sneaker prints were unmistakable in the inch of powder that already covered the ground. If the kidnappers picked up her trail, she was doomed. With her twisted ankle, she couldn't stay ahead of them for long. She plodded through the trees, the furious racing of her mind every bit as turbulent as the roiling snow. Come on, 1 foot in front of the other. She'd been hooded when her captors had carried her to the cabin hideout, but the direction had definitely been up. Down, then, was the way to go. It wasn't exactly a map or even a compass, but it was the only point of reference she had. When is this lousy snow going to stop? Suddenly, without warning, the forest was gone. She couldn't see it. She felt it. The stronger wind, unblocked by trees, the absence of branches scratching at her skin. I'm in the open. Had she made it out of the woods and back to civilization? No, in civilization there would be lights. It was just as black as before. Only the dim disk of the moon glowed through the snowy overcast above. She closed her eyes in a concerted effort to boost her night vision. It was only 10 seconds, but it felt like forever. Lids squeezed shut, counting patiently. When she opened them at last, she could see again. It was still dead dark, but she could distinguish the different textures of black on black. She had not left the forest. It was still all around her. This was some kind of clearing, a stripe about 30 feet wide cut straight through the woods. A fire break? Maybe, but weren't fires more of a problem out west, where it was drier? Her gaze fixed on a tall, vertical shadow in the center of the opening. She frowned. Why would they take the trouble to clear-cut a stripe through dense forest and then leave 1 tree standing right in the middle? She squinted at the ramrod-straight trunk. It did not bend or taper and had no branches. That's not a tree. It's a telephone pole. That was the purpose of this clearing, to run power and phone lines through to the other side of the mountains. When the plan came to her, it was already fully formed. It wasn't actually her idea. Its source was a book by her father. In addition to his career as a criminologist, Dr. John Falconer was the author of a series of detective novels. In Murder in the Mojave, the hero, Mac Mulvey, has been stranded in the desert and left to die. Lost, snake-bit, and parched beyond endurance, Mulvey stumbles across a line of electrical wires. With the nearest human being dozens of miles away, the intrepid detective finds a way to send out a distress call. As Meg began to climb the pole, she couldn't help reflecting that Mulvey didn't have to do this in the dark. He had no trouble telling the harmless telephone cables from the deadly high-voltage lines that would electrocute her on contact. The wood was wet from snow. She pressed the rubber soles of her sneakers against the pole to keep from sliding. The wind nipped harder. She was making progress.